Now that Joplin City Council has approved a mask mandate, we look at the legal authority of businesses to enforce it. The Economic Security Corporation expands its online options for utility assistance. President Trump meets with Michigan officials to discuss the election, while President-elect Biden meets with top Democratic lawmakers.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
With the City of Joplin's new mask mandate approved last night, there are some things you and business owners need to know. This is KOAM News at 5. The new mandate is virtually identical to the one that expired in August. It requires anyone over the age of 6 to wear a mask when in public facilities or businesses open to the public, public transportation vehicles, and outside when social distancing is not possible in groups of 10 or more. Businesses are required to post a sign informing customers they must wear a mask inside, and the city says they stand behind businesses when it comes to enforcement.
Some businesses will want to enforce this very strictly, and if they do, we are there to support. We're there to back them up and make sure that they are empowered to enforce it strictly.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more from Mayor Stanley and from a local attorney on the legal rights businesses have to enforce the mandate. Healthcare workers continue to deal with stress as the number of people hospitalized with COVID-19 remains high. At Mercy Hospital, there are 44 patients hospitalized with the virus. Freeman has 54 patients. Those numbers make it tough since the hospitals have other patients, and many patients with COVID have to have more intensive care.
As we've seen the surge in patients, it's just we've had to open additional areas for COVID patients, and it's just really pushed everybody to the edge. You know, our nurses are resilient. They're dealing with this every day. They're really providing a great service for our community.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear from a physician's assistant and from healthcare providers who are applauding the City of Joplin for reinstating the mask ordinance. The Economic Security Corporation is shifting more applications for assistance programs online in an effort to limit the spread of COVID-19 and increase convenience for customers. As KOAM's Kate Kelly tells us, it's making a difference for families across Barton, Jasper, Newton, and McDonald counties.
For the past few years, the Economic Security Corporation has offered its housing assistance application online, but it's only recently been able to expand its utility assistance application to the digital world. Before, applications had to be printed and returned. While that's still an option with drop-off boxes available, now the process can be done entirely online. Officials with ESC say COVID-19 has impacted financial needs for many families across the area.
Transportation was shut down for a while. People missed appointments. I mean, there's just hospitals get affected when people don't come to their wellness appointments. It just is kind of like a big storm for us, and we're still trying to figure out how to recover from it.
Hard copies of applications are still available for people without printer or internet access. You just need to put in a call to the Economic Security Corporation, and they'll send you everything you need in the mail. Reporting in Joplin, Kate Kelly, KOAM News.
The Economic Security Corporation's Winter Utility Assistance Program will start on November 2nd. Started on November 2nd. You can enroll through March 31st. Although Pitt State seniors won't finish classes for another few weeks, the soon-to-be graduates are doing their commencement ceremonies today. Some precautions were put in place. Graduates could have only 4 guests, and masks were required. Students also got to continue the tradition of ringing the campus bell.
It feels really good. It's nice to be able to have this actual ceremony to walk at, especially after 2020 being such a weird year.
Spring and summer commencement ceremonies were canceled from their scheduled dates, so those graduates will grab their diplomas at ceremonies tomorrow. Nick Kelly joins us as we prepare to head into the weekend.
And like it or not, we have cloud cover as advertised back in the forecast now. In fact, it's already here, as a matter of fact. Not to mention periods of light drizzle in some spots throughout the day. But as we take it to the Skywatch Storm Tracker, more rain echoes are popping up. That is because not only is the cloud cover finally collecting enough moisture to produce actual light rainfall as the evening gets underway, we actually have a cold front parked right across the region. As long as this sticks around through much of this weekend, That's going to mean rain chances sticking with us. And temperatures, depends on where you are in the front. North of the front, you're in the 50s, and some spots in the mid-60s south of the front. But everyone's looking at a chilly evening and eventually a cool start to our Saturday morning as overnight lows eventually drop back into the 40s. We'll see how much rain the storm system wants to bring our way when we break down the forecast coming up in a bit, Dow.
All right, we'll see you soon. President Trump summoned top Michigan Republican lawmakers to the White House today as he continues his bid to overturn the 2020 election. His administration is still not communicating with President-elect Joe Biden, who met in person with top congressional Democrats on his 78th birthday. Reporter Michael George is in Wilmington, Delaware with the latest.
Will you honor the will of the Michigan voters?
Top Michigan State Senate Republican Mike Shirkey was met with protests as he arrived in Washington for a meeting at the White House Friday. The invitation to Michigan lawmakers appears to be President Trump's latest effort to overturn results in a state he lost by more than 150,000 votes.
It's an abuse of office. It's an open attempt to intimidate election officials. It's absolutely appalling.
Georgia is certifying its results Friday with a win for Biden. A recount is currently underway in Wisconsin, and the Trump campaign is still pursuing lawsuits.
The president's been very clear. He wants every legal vote to be counted and to make sure no illegal votes are counted.
Here in Wilmington, President-elect Biden is pressing ahead with a transition, despite a lack of cooperation from the White House. The president-elect and vice president-elect are meeting with top congressional Democrats.
We're discussing a lame duck session, the urgency of crushing the virus and easing the pain of this economic crisis.
The Trump administration is pushing back on concerns that a delayed transition with regard to the coronavirus vaccine distribution will cost American lives.
The same career people that are running this response in Operation Warp Speed on January 19th are going to be the same people on January 21st, and every aspect of what we do is completely transparent.
Mr. Biden is set to be inaugurated as the 46th president in exactly 2 months. Michael George, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
Lawmakers on both sides have expressed concerns that President Trump is damaging public faith in the integrity of U.S. elections. Still ahead, looking ahead to Christmas.
The toy known as Baby Yoda has parents moving fast to snatch one up in time for the holidays. I'm Naomi Ruckham with a look at some of this year's hottest toys.
And next in Health Watch, some food safety tips for people who will be cooking a Thanksgiving meal themselves for the first time. The coronavirus pandemic is more widespread than ever, with hospitalizations on the rise in nearly all 50 states. More than 1 million virus cases were reported across the country in the last 7 days. On the vaccine front, drug maker Pfizer is requesting emergency use authorization from the FDA for its vaccine, which may be more than 90% effective. A new review of COVID-19 data shows people are most likely to spread the virus within the first 5 days of showing symptoms. Doctors say this finding emphasizes the need to rapidly isolate COVID patients when they first get sick. With many Americans changing their plans and staying home this Thanksgiving because of the coronavirus, many people could be prepping their first ever Thanksgiving meal. Federal health officials want to remind everyone about proper food safety practices to avoid foodborne illnesses this holiday season. Reporter Laura Podesta has more on what you need to know.
From the turkey to the stuffing to the mashed potatoes, for many Americans opting out of their usual holiday plans during the pandemic, this may be the first time they're cooking the big meal. The first step, properly thaw your frozen bird and give yourself plenty of time.
It's going to take some time to thaw this. And if you don't do it safely, you might have a food safety risk. So you need to thaw it in the refrigerator. This is our best method, and it takes about 24 hours for every 4 or 5 pounds of that turkey.
Dr. Mindy Brashears with the USDA says when it's time to cook the bird, it's best to use a food thermometer.
That food thermometer needs to be put into the thickest part of the breast and then the innermost part of the thigh and wing. And we want to get that turkey to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. If you cook it to that temperature, the turkey is juicy, it's done, you've killed the bacteria.
It's very important to prevent cross-contamination in the kitchen. That could cause foodborne illness. Wash and sanitize all surfaces, cutting boards, utensils, and hands.
Wash your hands before you prepare food. Wash your hands during food preparation if you're handling something raw or something that could be contaminated, and wash your hands afterward. 95 to 99% of our consumers in observational studies don't wash their hands at all, or they don't properly wash their hands.
Once the big meal is done, get the leftovers into the refrigerator within 2 hours. Break them into smaller containers so they chill quickly, and toss everything after 4 days. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Also, when it comes to leftovers, pay special attention to the stuffing or dressing and anything that has potatoes in it. Experts say if you leave those sitting out, spore-forming bacteria that survive the cooking process can start growing at room temperature. A little bit later, the Treasury Department says it will not extend some emergency loan programs past this year.
And plan on rain chances sticking around through the weekend. We'll break down the forecast up next. As advertised, we got the clouds back in with our next cold fronts parked right on top of us, and that has made a difference in temperatures as well. With us going from the mid-70s yesterday to only the upper 60s today. Because of all the cloud cover in place, we just couldn't see temperatures go anywhere throughout the course of the day. And it gives you a hint of how temperatures will fare throughout the weekend. Looking at the Skywatch Storm Tracker over the course of the day so far, we started the day actually during the early morning hours with no cloud cover to speak of. Then the cloud cover quickly got its act together throughout the day. And once we started out with rain-wise, as pockets of drizzle, we're now starting to see more areas of at least light rain popping up from the Veda down to the I-44 corridor along the Kansas-Oklahoma line. And this is just the beginnings of the rain chances that will pick up throughout the course of the weekend. In the meantime, though, at least from our vantage point from the station, we're looking dry, but still cloudy. Then 61 degrees is the current reading in Joplin. A northeast breeze at 7. Humidity, though, that's for sure climbing back up at 83%. Temperatures where you are depends on where you sit in relation to the front. It's parked right along the I-44 corridor. If you've got a south wind going, you're trying to hold on to mid to even the upper 60s in our southern counties, while everyone else north of the front is seeing temperatures already back into the 50s. And again, all based on where you sit with this front. The northerly winds keeping you chilly to start the evening out. Southerly winds a little lighter, but just enough to keep you mild to start the evening out. But we will continue to see cloud cover locked in place, rain chances picking up, especially as you go through the late evening, and eventually we'll see a cool night ahead of us with lows dropping back into the 40s. Again, not a whole lot happening here right now, but we have the front again parked right along the I-44 corridor, and not only that, we've got a weak upper level wave passing by with a couple more lining up, wanting to keep rain chances around over the next several days. In the short term, though, we have the cloud cover in place. Some of you seeing some spotty drizzle, but the overall emphasis will be rain picking up, light to even moderate rain, especially as we work into Saturday. Temperatures starting in the upper 40s for your Saturday morning. We just don't really go anywhere, practically speaking, with temperatures tomorrow only wanting to top out during the afternoon in the 50s. So we'll go 48 in the morning, 50 by noon, afternoon highs around 51. Wouldn't be surprised if we had a few rumbles of thunder, but we're mainly looking at periods of rain throughout our Saturday. One last push of rain going into Saturday night into Sunday morning. Then we'll get a chance to dry out a little bit and maybe see some afternoon sun before Sunday is all said and done. As far as rain amounts go, we've had to back the numbers off a little bit, but anyone still game to see half an inch to maybe an inch and a half before this system clears on out. Then once this system gets the picture and clears out, we'll focus on this next wave coming in from the west. That'll bring in rain chances Monday and Tuesday. That passes along until we see our next chance for rain by Black Friday, which at this point means we'll be dry and actually partly sunny for Thanksgiving. It's good for the bird and good for everyone else across the area. But rain chances for much of the weekend, 51 tomorrow, 50 on Monday. Sunday rather, 52 on Monday. And despite clouds and storms on Tuesday, we'll be seeing highs back near 60.
And not much good news for Turkey this time of year, so I guess if the weather's okay, then he'll take that.
We got to look at the positives.
I suppose. Thanks, Nick. Just ahead, we check out some of the hottest toys for Christmas. First, though, we recognize a local veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps. Miami, Oklahoma native Stephen Woods joined in 1987 and has served in Iraq. Staff Sergeant Stephen Woods, a four-state hero. The Treasury Department will not extend some emergency loan programs passed this year that were meant to help cushion the economic strain from the coronavirus. The move by Secretary Steven Mnuchin is at odds with the Federal Reserve, which said it would prefer the full suite of emergency facilities to continue. Mnuchin denies that he's trying to limit the choices that President-elect Joe Biden will have to promote an economic recovery. General Motors says it expects the price of its electric vehicles to be the same as gas-powered cars within 5 years, thanks to a pending breakthrough in battery chemistry. It's working on 30 new electric vehicles and hopes a small SUV will cost under $30,000. GM anticipates new batteries will be able to run for up to 450 miles on a single charge. The holidays will be different this year because of the pandemic, but at least one thing is the same as always. Kids want toys. Reporter Naomi Ruckham takes a look at what's popular this year.
Pull the ripcord and let it fly.
The race is on to buy the must-have holiday toys kids are clamoring for. The Toy Insider's Marissa DiBartolo says this year many parents have their own wish lists.
Let's see what we get.
With old-school items, including the Price is Right-inspired Plinko game.
Because you can't go anywhere. So this year families are really looking for things like board games and activity toys and things that they can all play together.
The National Retail Federation says Legos and other classic toys like Barbie are popular this year. So are high-tech video game consoles and this Mario Kart Live.
Here we go.
There's a camera on top so kids can get the racer's perspective.
One of the hottest toys this year is this Kitty Zoom Creator Cam. It can switch to selfie mode and even comes with a green screen so kids can create their own backgrounds like dinosaurs.
Kids are watching videos on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok more than ever before, and this camera is a safe way for them to really dabble in making their own videos.
Kids will also be asking for new toys from Ryan and LOL Surprise.
Get ready to move.
The latest version of Baby Shark is expected to be a hit.
Take it up.
And may the force be with parents trying to get this Star Wars toy.
The Child is definitely one of those big hot items this year.
The Child, aka Baby Yoda, now comes in a remote control version.
And they can use that to control all of the child's movements. You can make him walk, you can play hide and seek with him.
Experts say parents seeking a hot toy don't want to wait too long. The pandemic has more people buying online, which could lead to shipping delays. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Because you just can't get enough Baby Yoda and Baby Shark. NordPass is out with a 2020 list of the most common passwords that get hacked. Among them, 123456. Also, 1234567889. The word password, also QWERTY, and I love you are on the list too. And some of you might want to rethink your password for an online account with new additions to the list that only take about 3 hours to crack, including Picture 1 and $1,000,002. Final check of the forecast next. The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear from an area lawyer on the legal authority of businesses to enforce Joplin's mask mandate. Plus, more on the concerns about stress from the pandemic some area healthcare workers have. And voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, previews Sunday's game against the division rival Las Vegas Raiders. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Checking back in with Nick. Looks like we have some rain chances ahead of us, Nick.
And wants to start as early as this evening, too. After some areas of drizzle today, rain chances pick up this evening, continue through Saturday until Sunday morning. Keeping temperatures for much of the weekend mainly in the lower 50s. Another system on Monday and Tuesday, then will be dry for Wednesday and Thanksgiving.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.